How's it going, guys? So I heard you have a child and you would like to go on a bike ride with him, but you're not really quite sure what to do. So what I'd like to go over today is what I would consider my father and child ultimate biking setup. Let's get into it. All right, so this is my Raleigh Redux 2. I've had it now for about, I'd say almost a year in all honesty. And I saw it pop up on Facebook, actually, a Facebook ad. They always get me. But I started doing some research on some of these, and it's actually a commuter bike, if I can talk. So, and then I started doing research on the seats for children. And I learned very quickly I did not want something behind my bike that I'm towing, and I did not want her to be sitting behind me because I don't want her to be looking at my butt crack, which seems like a fair thing to actually worry about with the child. So I found this, and it actually sits on the front of the bike. So it has this little attachment down here, and then it just bolts on with 2 bolts. This cannot go on a full suspension bike, and you got to make sure it's a hardtail. And there are some hardtails, like I actually tried to put this on my GT Aggressor Pro, which I don't have anymore. But it had the triple triangle design back here, so it actually kind of flared out a bit. And with the 2 poles, with these 2 poles, the way the design was, it actually pushed these out too far to where it actually would not go in this and lock like it was supposed to. So you need to find one that actually just has straight tubes right here and none that flare or anything. So that's really the only downfall I'd say about this actual seat for a child. But other than that, I absolutely love it. I'll get into that in just a second. So let me go over the bike, and I'll explain some of the reasons why I decided to go with this bike, and not just because of price purposes, because it is a phenomenal price in my opinion for what all you get. So when I was looking for a bike for my daughter and I to go on bike rides, one of the main things I really wanted to make sure it had was hydraulic brakes. So this does have hydraulic disc brakes. They are just some cheaper Tektro brakes, but they work absolutely phenomenal. I love them very much. They stop me when I need them to stop, and I've never had any issues with them. And they bleed very easily as well, so that's a really good thing to know if you do your own bike work. So I like that little front badge it came with. Is actually super nice. So I took off the reflectors, and one of the first upgrades I got were lights. So I got this front light, and then I also got this back light. And if I'm gonna be riding this with my daughter, I want absolute as much safety features as possible. So I didn't want reflectors. I wanted to just go straight to lights for those 2 spots. I obviously have the reflector still on the tires, but I just did not want to have to worry about reflectors on the front. So very nice lights. They work absolutely wonderfully. They both have rechargeable batteries. So another thing I wanted to get was a bell. Not only can the daughter reach this and play with it, but it's just another good safety feature for if you're like on a trail that actually has walking. So this part wasn't a make it or break it for me whenever I was looking, but I thought it was a huge plus that it was actually a 1x setup. So this is a 1x9, and I'm actually able to climb up it no problem. I'm able to do what I need to do with it with her, so it's been absolutely fine there. I do have the capability to change it to a 1x10, so that might be a upgrade potentially later that I might record and throw up. But the drivetrain on this is absolutely fine. I have no issues at all. It's got a little chain guard here. It's just almost like a little piece of plastic with a spike on it to keep it in. But I've done many rides with this so far, and I've not had any chain drops or anything like that. Once I got the shifting dialed in when I got it from Raleigh, it was absolutely perfect for me. So I absolutely love that. So let me set the camera down and show you how this seat does lock in. So we'll go over that in just a second. It's kind of hard to see, but I do have some frame protection tape right here, and that's where this part actually goes on the frame, and it will scuff the paint from whenever you put the weight of the baby in there and the way it bounces. So it's very, very easy to install though. So you just take it and you just slide it on. I'll typically just go ahead and set it down there. And then with these 2 poles, you put them in, it slides into place. And this is a safety pin basically. So you push it down, and it is a little finicky to get in there sometimes. But once it punches in like that, you know it's good to go and it won't come out. So, but like I said, let me take the camera off this tripod. So this does sit right here. So you can see I have that little bit of frame protector there. So these are terrific though, because right here, they actually move up and down. They'll come out for as she gets bigger. But these will actually strap her feet in. I love that. The harness works absolutely fine. Secure, no problem. Another really big part of this that I don't know if a lot of people will think about is obviously some form of helmet. So this is what I got. I got this seat and the helmet both off of Amazon, and I'm thrilled with the way they work. This helmet gets super tiny, but whenever I was first going on rides with her, it almost didn't fit actually. So I have this. She doesn't need it anymore, but I actually would put that on her head, and then I was able to put the helmet on and it actually fit really well. So something to keep in mind. But I highly recommend, if you're taking any children on your bike at all, get a helmet. Get them a helmet. It's so important. Make sure you're helmeted as well. But one of the things I really like best about the seat, besides the fact of her being in front of me so she can actually see the beautiful view, as opposed to, again, like I said, my butt crack, I have my arms wrapped around her because of the handlebars. So if we were to go down, I would be able to put my arms around her and protect her if we were to fall. So that's another thing I really like. And if she's behind you, you can't do that, or him, because I have a daughter, so I keep saying she. But I've had this seat now for about a year as well. I actually got the seat before I got the bike, because I had just a kind of a cheap bike that I was using for her and I, and it didn't have the hydraulic disc brakes, and it didn't have a lot that this bike has. But if you're looking for a really good bike that will also double as a good commuter, if you're just maybe running some errands around town or something like that, guys, find something like this. I'm not saying get the Redux 2, but for me personally, and what I do with this and taking my wonderful daughter on bike rides with me, man, it is freaking phenomenal. And the way I've not really changed anything on this bike besides the lights, adding a bell, and adding some frame protector. So I got the little bit here like I was showing to keep it from scraping too much from this seat, because it will bounce a little bit, but it's nothing noticeable at all. And then I have some down here on the chainstay, just because of the fact this isn't a clutch. But so like I said, I've been really thrilled with all of this setup. And if you are considering going on bike rides with your child, this is a terrific setup. My daughter's now 18 months. She weighs about 20 pounds, maybe 22 now. She's pretty small for a child, but fits absolutely fine in this still, and she should for a while. But hopefully I can get some footage here in a little bit of her riding around with me, and we'll put that on the end. But please, if you guys have any questions, if you have any concerns, definitely put them in the comments so I can respond back, and I would absolutely love the feedback. So thank you so much, guys, and I'm sure I will talk to you later. You ready? Woo! Go from from. Elsie, go woohoo! Elsie, go woohoo! Woohoo! Is mommy having fun, Elsie?